A lonely childhood, floppy ears, the Royal Air Force, and 37 more facts about King Charles, who celebrates his 75th birthday today. King Charles is celebrating his 75th birthday, and we're looking back at 75 facts about his life. Fear not, there will only be 40 of them in this video and another 35 in the next one. 1. Charles was born at Buckingham Palace on November 14, 1948 at 9:14 p.m. by C-section after a 30-hour labor. 2. His birth was the first birth of a senior member of the royal family that was not attended by a senior politician, to ensure that the newborn was a genuine descendant of the monarch since the 17th century. 3. Charles was the first royal baby born at Buckingham Palace in the 20th century. 4. Prince Philip went to play squash during his wife's labor, and when he saw his newborn son, he said he looked like a plum pudding. 5. Charles was doused with water from the Jordan River during his baptism. 6. When Charles was a year old, the Queen and Prince Philip spent Christmas in Malta, where Philip was serving in the Royal Navy. Charles stayed with his grandparents at Sandringham. His parents missed his first steps and first teeth. 7. It is said that Charles' first word was Nana, addressed to his nanny Mabel Anderson. 8. Charles was close to his maternal grandmother, the Queen Mother, who encouraged his love of nature and art. At the age of 2, he would sit on her bed and play with tubes of her lipstick, admiring the colors. 9. Grandma also encouraged kindness in Charles, encouraging him to share candy with other children and to choose the weakest person first when selecting teammates for games. 10. His mother became queen when Charles was only 3 years old. He attended her coronation at Westminster Abbey on June 2, 1953. At this time, Charles was already heir to the throne. 11. When Winston Churchill met Charles shortly before his 4th birthday, he remarked, "He is too young to think so much." 12. Catherine Peoples, Charles's governess, said he was hypersensitive, solitary, excessively shy, and inclined to quiet pursuits such as reading and drawing. 13. At the age of 9, Charles was officially given the title of Prince of Wales. The title Prince of Wales is only given to a male heir, but this designation is not automatic. Charles did not officially become Prince of Wales until 1958. 14. Along with the title of Prince of Wales, Charles was given several other stock-in-trade titles: Earl of Chester, Duke of Cornwall, Duke of Rothesay, Earl of Carrick, Baron Renfrew, Lord of the Isles, Prince and Grand Steward of Scotland. 15. Charles' official investiture as Prince of Wales did not take place until 1969 at Carnarvon Castle, where the prince made a speech in Welsh. 16. When Charles was 8 years old, Queen Elizabeth decided that he would go to school with other children instead of being homeschooled, as per tradition. He began attending Hill House School in London on November 7, 1956, and afterward went to Cheam, a preparatory school in Hampshire. 17. Charles was then sent to Gordonstoun High School in the Highlands of Scotland, from which his father, Prince Philip, had graduated. The Queen was not thrilled with the idea, but gave in to her husband's insistence that Gordonstoun had a positive influence in shaping his personality. 18. Charles later called Gordonstoun Colditz in kilts. Colditz Castle in Germany was a concentration camp during Hitler's time. From Charles' letter home, "It's such hell here, especially at night. They throw slippers at me all night, or hit me with pillows, or run across the room and hit me as hard as they can and then come back again." Charles sent his children to Eton College. 19. Charles was bullied at school for his protruding ears. His great-uncle, Louis Mountbatten, unsuccessfully persuaded Charles' parents to give him an otoplasty, an operation to correct his lobes. 20. Prince Harry wrote in his memoirs that Charles had had a teddy bear with broken arms and dangling strings since Gordonstoun, and this teddy bear spoke eloquently, better than Dad could ever express, of the loneliness of his childhood. 21. When Charles was 14 years old, he and other schoolboys took a trip on a schoolboat to the Isle of Lewis. They took refuge from the tourists in a bar where Charles ordered a cherry brandy. It was illegal to serve anyone under 18, and unfortunately for Charles, there was a reporter sitting at the bar. A national scandal erupted, and the prince's bodyguard Don Green lost his job. 22. When Charles was 20 years old, he was asked in an interview if his father was a disciplined hardliner and told the prince to sit down and shut up. Charles replied, "All the time, yes." 23. The Prince of Wales spent 6 months at Timbertop School in Australia, which he later said was the most enjoyable part of his education. 24. Charles spent a semester at Aberystwyth University College, where he studied Welsh history and learned to speak Welsh. 25. Charles studied archaeology, anthropology, and history at Trinity College, and in 1970 he graduated from Cambridge University with a Bachelor of Arts degree, becoming the first heir to earn a university degree. "This boy has shown himself to be an honorable man," said Trinity College Master Lord Butler. 26. Charles plays 3 musical instruments: cello, piano, and trumpet. Although he called himself hopeless, he played the cello in the Trinity College Orchestra. 27. At the age of 17, Charles played Macbeth in a school play. Playing on stage brought him great pleasure. 28. Charles loves to draw and does it quite well. He was surrounded by art all his childhood, and this inspired him to take up painting. He is most inspired by natural landscapes, especially around Balmoral. Lithographs of his work are for sale, and all proceeds go to the Prince of Wales Charitable Trust. 29. Charles made his first trip to Washington in 1970. He later recalled, "It was the time they tried to marry me off to Tricia Nixon." After that, Charles visited Washington at least 20 times and met with every American president. 30. From 1971, Charles, like his father and grandfather, continued the royal tradition of military service by attending the Royal Air Force College and the Royal Naval College at Dartmouth. Charles served on the guided missile destroyer HMS Norfolk from 1971 to 1972, HMS Minerva from 1972 to 1973, and then on HMS Jupiter in 1974. It is widely believed that he was sent to sea for long periods to keep him away from Camilla Shand. She married Andrew Parker Bowles while Charles was at sea. 31. Charles became a qualified pilot, able to fly a Chipmunk basic pilot trainer, an F-4 Phantom A fighter, an Avro Vulcan jet bomber, and a classic World War II Spitfire fighter. 32. He was the first member of the British royal family to receive RAF wings. After King Charles trained in the Royal Air Force at Cambridge University's Aviation Squadron, he himself went to the Royal Air Force at Cranwell to train as a jet pilot. The Prince of Wales was the first member of the royal family to receive such an honor. 33. Charles is a certified scuba diver. He began scuba diving in the 1970s and has explored many shipwreck sites over the years. In 1975, Prince Charles explored the wreck site of the Mary Rose, the flagship of King Henry VII's fleet, spending nearly an hour underwater. 34. Charles played other sports, including horse racing, polo, and sailing. 35. Charles loves magic, and in 1975 was accepted into the Magic Circle, a British organization dedicated to promoting the art of magic. It is about magic tricks, of course. 36. In 1980, Prince Charles wrote a children's book called The Old Man of Lochnagar, based on stories he told his younger brothers, Princes Andrew and Edward. The story centers on an old man who went to the caves near Balmoral in search of a quiet place to take a hot bath. A short animated movie was later based on the book, with Charles voicing the narrator. 36. Charles has authored and co-authored more than a dozen books on ecology, architecture, and sustainability. 37. Charles briefly wore a beard. 38. Charles is related to Vlad Tepes, the prototype for Count Dracula. Elizabeth's grandmother was believed to be his descendant. So much for the joy of supporters of reptilians, vampires, and all manner of other beastly Anglo-Saxons. 39. He once sent flowers to Barbra Streisand. She later recounted, "I had a very funny line on stage when he came to see the show. I said, you know, if I had played my cards right, I could have been the first Jewish princess." 40. He once presented a weather forecast on the BBC. King Charles once presented a special weather forecast during a visit to BBC Scotland's headquarters on Pacific Way in Glasgow. You can see 35 more facts in the following review. Dear friend, if you like everything new about the royal family and don't want to miss all the novelties, subscribe to our channel and like it. By doing so, you take part in our development. We work for you.